Hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. This is Hazel Lucia Tarot and I am your tarot reader Stephanie, and today's reading is about what people think about you but don't really want to say to your face, or what they may be afraid to tell you, their secret thoughts about you. So we have 5 piles here for you today. Pile 1, we have a shungite heart. Pile 2, we have an amethyst rock crystal cluster. Pile 3, we have an agate moon. Pile 4, we have this nice chunk of rose quartz. And pile 5, we have an orange calcite heart. So do remember that these are their perspectives. It may or may not be how you actually are, but it could actually open your eyes to how you are being perceived. So with that in mind, take a few deep breaths and I'll be ready for your reading whenever you are. Hello there, pile 1. If you chose the shungite heart, then we have a reading here for you about what people think about you that they don't really say to your face, any secret thoughts they may have, or any other thoughts that may come to mind about you that they won't really say, that they wouldn't ever say. So this could be good or bad. Let's go ahead and see what you got. So we have 27, Guru Ramdas, humility, spiritual practice, and elevation. I'm hearing you're too good for them. There's something about your purity. There's something about you just giving off this energy. I'm getting like somebody who's too nice and too pure. So regardless of your gender here, you could be like the super nice girl, super nice guy. Like there's just something about you. Like they would never do you dirty. They would never do you wrong. You're just so pure. They would feel bad doing anything wrong to you. It's like they would never want to hurt you. I'm getting that very strongly. Because even if you're not spiritual, and even if you don't see yourself this way, there's like a humility to you. There's the elevation makes me think of high vibrational, which doesn't always mean that somebody is like, you know, happy all the time. It could just mean that your intentions are pure. There's definitely, do people say cinnamon roll anymore? Because that's what I'm getting. I'm getting cinnamon roll energy for you. Pile 1, not to give away my age there. We do have the number 27, so that could be an age that you are. Or that could be the age of the people around you. Maybe they're in their late 20s. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you, pile 1, to see what people think about you. We have receptive. Yeah, you're very open to a lot of things. You could also be very receptive. I feel like people open up to you very easily, or they find it very easy to come toward you about any sort of problems they may have, either because you're very again, open to a lot of things, or you could just have a very sympathetic ear, or you always have the right advice to say. I feel like they like being around you. Your energy feels very warm and welcoming, because even as I'm tapping into this, I feel like I could easily be your friend and talk to you forever. So that's what I'm getting so far. Back of the deck, we have solitary. So a lot of you could be very solitary. Maybe you're a little bit of a loner, but not necessarily lonely or like you're too good for anybody. I feel like you just kind of do your own thing and you're not really bothered by anything. I feel like you definitely embrace solitude, and you don't really believe in loneliness, at least not in the way that other people may see it. To you, lonely is being in a room surrounded by people that you have nothing in common with, or that you just don't get along with or vibe with or something. But solitary, you could be very independent, and people like this about you, or they're curious about this. It wouldn't surprise me if you attract a lot of people who are either codependent or social. They just want to get to know you. So let's get more cards for you. My pile 1, we have omniscience, Eye of Horus, 34. So for some of you, maybe you are very spiritual, but I feel like not everybody picks up on this right away. I feel like people either have to be looking for this or just be very familiar with spiritual and intuitive people. For example, I would know how to pick this up from other people when I meet them, because I do this quite regularly. But the average person who isn't into things like tarot and energy and intuition, I don't think they would pick up on that. They would just pick up on the fact, again, it's that you're very sweet, that you're very pure, that you're easy to speak to and talk to. And sometimes people gravitate towards those kinds of people, even if they themselves are not this way, because they're it's kind of like they're seeking spiritual guidance or spiritual advice without them intentionally knowing. I'm literally in my mind's eye, I'm seeing somebody going to, I grew up in the Catholic Church, and they have something called confession, where you go seek the confessional and you speak to a priest and they kind of bless you for all your wrongdoings. To like, that's what I'm getting. Like, people may come to you to seek validation of whatever wrongs they may have done or anything along these lines. Again, you come off this way to people. Even if you feel like you're not okay with the things they tell you, they may seek you out regardless because this is just how they feel. And I know this seems weird, but this literally happens to me. Again, because I have an energy similar to this, I guess, to certain people, and they'll just tell me their whole life story or the things that they've done wrong that they kind of want validation, or I don't know, like they just want to justify what they've done when they know it's wrong. And I'll even tell them, it's like, you know, it's not the best thing. Noise in the background for confirmation. So you might get a lot of people who just come to you and when they've got weird things to confess. Let's go ahead and get more cards. We have mortification. Interesting. I almost feels like this kind of tells a story. I'll come back to that one though, just because I don't know if this is how they see you or if this is the people who are seeing you this way. And then from the yogic path. I feel like you could easily be friends with anybody though. There's something very friendly about you. Buddha. Yeah, like I said, there's something about you. You could be a very good advice giver. You could even be a tarot reader. I feel like I could easily choose this pile. But you could be really good at giving advice. Even if it's not spiritual, just in general, I feel like you have a very good head on your shoulders. People like to come to you whenever they've got certain questions or whatever the case is. Even people who are either older than you, more experienced than you. It wouldn't surprise me if you have friends who are much older or even much younger. I feel like it doesn't matter. You embrace everybody. You don't really have any... You're very non-judgmental, or at the very least you come off that way, or at the very least you try to be non-judgmental, because I feel like everyone's got their judgments. Like, again, we don't really... I feel most people don't say them out loud, but people feel like you're just above them in some way. I'm being asked to read from the book for the Buddha, which is weird because I don't really need too much clarification on that, but I feel like I might be missing something. I'm so glad I looked up the book because it opens up with one who is aware. Buddha is not just one person, but anyone who has an aware and blessed soul. Right now, that is you. You have woken up to your true self and let go of the illusions that were binding you to the material world. You have taken off the mask of security and given a good look into the vastness of your own soul. You have realized that nothing is inherently good or bad, but rather just is. Like I said, you don't judge here, pile one, or at least you don't judge as much as, I guess, other people. You understand that non-dual nature of the world and are letting go of the judgments of the mind. Hold the knowledge that we are all Buddha nature. It just takes remembering. So there is something here to be said about you kind of really knowing yourself. And it wouldn't surprise me if people are kind of envious of that, the way you're just so sure about yourself that you know yourself. Again, regardless of your age, I feel like a lot of older people think this of you. Like they want to cast it off as, oh, pile one is just really young and innocent, but it's not an innocence per se. That's what it looks like to the average person. It's a very strong self-awareness and knowing of who you are. You're basically an old soul, pile one. I feel like that's how a lot of people see you. They think this of you, and either people don't really bring this up either because, well, I don't think, you know, they may not just talk about spiritual things. Two, they may not know how to put that into words, that you're very pure, that you have a pure soul, that you're very spiritual. Even if you yourself don't feel you are, you could just be in that energy or you give that off where it doesn't matter what you've done in the past. You always kind of wake up with like a new bright mind, a new bright soul every day. But you're very aware of things. I feel like it's not just yourself, you're very aware of people too. And I feel like that's where the mortification comes through, where some people are terrified that you're going to see right through them or that you're going to know their deepest, darkest secrets. Hence why I think some people just kind of confess to you out of the blue or out of nowhere without meaning to. It's kind of like you may get people who overshare and you're wondering why they tell you these things. I think they want to beat you to the point, and it's like, let me just tell you what's wrong with me before you find out what's wrong with me. That's what I get from you, pile one. And I understand this energy completely. Like I get those same people as well. Because I don't tell everybody that I'm intuitive and a tarot reader and stuff. People just kind of pick up on that when they first meet me. Therefore, they overshare with me. And then I get accused of like digging deeply, and it's like, no, you told me a lot of these things out of your own volition. So I feel like you may get people like that as well, but mostly this is positive. I'm gonna get a goddess card for you. But yeah, there's something very pure about you. And some of this is actually pretty masculine energy. We have Horus and Guru Ramdas. I'm not sure who he is, but, and then Buddha. But masculine energy, so especially if you're a man, you come off as like way more, like you're safe. Like women would find you to be safe if you're a guy, which I know sounds odd to hear, but sometimes that's an important factor. It's the unfortunate reality of our world, but that's what I'm hearing for some of you. We have Izanami, potential. A lot of people see you as having a lot of potential. Again, there's like a purity, a bit of a youthfulness to you as well. So people feel like they can really go places with you. I feel like especially in like the workplace or in any sort of creative endeavor, people feel like you have the potential to do a lot. And then back of the deck, held judgment. Reversed again. I think you do have judgments. You're not quick to, or not too quick to say anything about them. Like you still have a very open mind. Maybe in the past you were more judgmental, but now it's more like you hold your judgments and allow people to do what they need to do or be what they need to be. I feel like you could even be friends with people whom you don't necessarily agree with their actions or their lifestyle, but you're okay with that because it's like that's their life to live, not mine. Like you're very, very open and you're very open-minded, and this is why people like this about you. And on the downside, you could befriend people that maybe you shouldn't be friends with because of this very reason. And maybe you've learned your lesson in the past, but that hasn't stopped you from like having faith in people or that people can do better. In fact, you could easily be that one person who is like the cheerleader for people bettering themselves. You could be that one friend who wants them to better themselves. I'm gonna get one more card from the, what is this one called? The Alchemy Tarot. It's not really a tarot, it's an oracle deck. For my pile 1. I keep wanting to say pile 5. I don't know if I'm going to have 5 piles, but if you were called to pile 5 as well, I recommend you go there, just in case this isn't really resonating with the kind of people you were thinking. We have Sphinx. Interesting. Sphinx. I'm going to read from the book because I actually don't feel any particular way about the Sphinx. I mean, quite literally, some of you could have gone to Egypt because we also have the Eye of Horus here. Maybe Egyptian mythology or ancient Egypt could be important to you, or you could have ties there. Or maybe some of you have been to the Sphinx, have visited the Sphinx, and that's kind of like a thing for you. But for my pile 1, sorry, I'm looking at the book. Okay. You can't know, and you don't really even want to know. With an enigma like this, the wondering process is the point, not the answer. It's like when you are looking at for a lost object, and that search uncovers a hoard of useful insights or things to transform. Later you notice the original subject of your search not lost at all. It was in plain sight and obvious the whole time. Could it have been temporarily invisible? Weird as it is, the other items you found are more intriguing, and your current concern resembles this paradigm. What I'm seeing is that you see every experience as a blessing. Doesn't matter whether it's good or bad. Like you can take even the worst scenario and bring something positive out of it. That's what I'm seeing. I feel like a lot of you have to be old souls because regardless of your age, I mean, maybe some of you are a little bit older and you have lived, a long, full life. But even if you haven't, I feel like you could really take the positive out of even the worst things. Like, let's say you lose something and you find a bunch of other, that's what the booklet was saying. You lose something and you find a bunch of other stuff along the way. Or you get into a relationship that was really awful, like it was toxic, but you learned a lot of things in that relationship, or it gave you experiences that you would otherwise not have. I feel like a lot of you know how to take the positive out of the negative, and that's one thing people like about you. So it's like, again, if they're coming for comfort from you, you will point out the positive in the things that they are trying to explain. And maybe not everybody appreciates this. Maybe there's something here, it's like I'm just here to vent pile 1. I don't need this lesson, but I feel like they're still comforted by that piece of advice you give them regardless. It's like looking back at it, they'll be like, yeah, pile 1's right, I could always make this positive somehow. So I feel like the way people see you, pile 1, quite literally an old soul, somebody that they can trust, and somebody who is just on a higher level than them. I feel like a lot of people think it's a privilege to know you. But yeah, if this feels like it's resonating, or if you want to know more, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. The tarot, I'm going to see who exactly is thinking this way of you, how they view you physically, internally, and what you inspire in people. So from the tarot, I want to see who specifically thinks of you this way. So who's thinking of my pile one this way? Probably more friends and neighbors than anybody. We have the Page of Coins. People younger than you for sure. They definitely look up to you. Because the Page of Pentacles is somebody who is like looking for somebody to look up to, looking for somebody to admire, looking for maybe even a guru. I feel like people younger than you or less experienced than you really do look up to you, especially those who are more on the earthy side. So Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, or with a lot of placements in those signs. I feel like you're very stable. You're a stable presence and they look for that. They want somebody that they can rely on. It could also be that you're an earth sign, hence that's why they're attracted to that. So definitely younger people or people who are less experienced or people who want to get to where you are currently. That's who's thinking of this. How do people in general view you on the outside physically? We have the Three of Pentacles. Again, that loner energy. And it's not that you don't work in groups. It's not that you don't collaborate. And it's not like you don't have anybody. It's just like you understand the value of having to be an individual within the group, of having your own mindset. I know that doesn't really have anything to do with how you look on the outside. I feel like you may look different than the people around you as well. Or you make it a point to stand out, or it's kind of like even if you tried, you could never really look like anybody around you. There's a unique appearance here to you. But even then, you're not afraid of looking weird when everybody else is looking a different way. Like, you're not afraid to stand out. And that's the biggest thing. I feel like this is how people pick up on you. Like, everybody might be going this way, you're going that way. Or everybody might be wearing this and you're wearing that. I feel like you specifically choose to look the way you are, as opposed to going off of trends or whatever. You can't hide what you look like, essentially. Like, you stand out. Even if you think you look normal, you somehow stand out. Maybe you look normal for your, for example, for your race or for your culture, your ethnicity, but to everybody else, you stand out. People may even say, oh, you look different. There's something different about you. There's something unique about you. So take that as it resonates. What do they think of you internally? Which we already kind of went in depth in the oracles, but I want confirmation. Six of Pentacles reversed. They know you're not going to waste energy on something that's not going to give back to you. And that's not because you're wanting to get more out of something than everybody else. It's more like, I feel like people have seen you put a lot of effort into something that hasn't given anything back to you in the past. And now they're seeing you withdraw your energy when you're not being met at that same energy. It's like if somebody doesn't match your energy, you want nothing to do with them. And that's fair. Like, I don't see people see this as a negative thing either. Like, let's say, especially in dating, it's like if you know somebody's not going to give you exactly what you give them, you're out of there, even in friendships or anything. Like, if somebody, and I feel like when people meet you, they even notice this. Let's say you're the one who's constantly initiating conversation, asking questions, being engaged, and the other person is just kind of like not into it. They're not, like, the next time you see them, you may not ask as many questions. You may pull back a little bit, and they may notice that, and they may even think like, what? I thought pile one was cool with me. What are they doing? And suddenly it's like they're recognizing, oh, pile one's pulling back their energy because they don't want to. I don't know. Maybe they're aware of this. Maybe they're not. But I've seen interactions like this. I've been in interactions like this. I try to make small talk with people maybe that I work with or in the neighborhood or something. And if I see they're not as engaged as me, it's like, okay, let me pull back. They're clearly not into whatever discussion I have to offer. Let me pull back. I see you doing something similar here. And it's not a good or a bad thing. It's just they notice that. It's like, I guess, it's like you're not going to be the one to give more than everybody else. You don't feel that's fair. You have a strong sense of what fairness is, and you're not going to waste your energy on anyone who isn't going to give the same back to you. And I think it throws people off a little bit. I think some people that you interact with are used to being catered to or are used to people treating them a certain way. You don't do that. It's like, nope, I'm not doing that. I'm thinking of like a child who's constantly spoiled by everybody around them. Then you come across this child and you're not going to spoil them. And this child looks at you like, what's wrong with you? And it's like, no, I'm not going to give you too much candy. I'm not going to, you're not going to, you don't, it's weird, but I think it's a good thing because you show people the contrast of what something healthy is sometimes. All right, let's get, I forgot what the fourth question was. I just want to get another one. Okay, Eight of Wands. You're a very quick person. You're very fast. Maybe quite literally you have like a fast walking speed, or you get in and out of places really quickly. Or when people see you, it's literally in a flash, like they'll pass by you and they don't see you again, or they have to be quick to keep up with you. I do get that. Or maybe you just really like to ride fast vehicles, or you just don't stay in one place for too long. Strong Gemini or Sagittarius energy, I get that quite often with that. And again, Atalanta, she was known, her myth. Sorry if you notice a cut pile one, but I had already gotten to like the end of the tarot section and I didn't realize that my camera had died. Atalanta over here, but I think I was at the myth. So the myth of Atalanta, she was the fastest out of all the men. So she kind of had this thing where she would only settle for a man, marry a man, if he could outrun her. So she just, like, no one could outrun her. That's how fast she was. That's how good she was. The only way she was able to get a man was because she kind of fell for one. So she just decided to, you know, mess up a little too many times. Oh, and, you know, just do, like, she's very much somebody who, when she wants something, she gets it because she's very much in control of what she wants. And I feel like a lot of you are that way. Like, and I don't mean to say that you would ever use this power for anything nefarious or evil, but you know that you could get whatever you want if you wanted to. Like, you would know exactly what you're doing. In fact, I feel like you have to kind of, I don't want to say you have to make yourself small, but like if you wanted something, you could get it. Pile one. And then we have the Queen of Wands, and essentially people find you very, very attractive. Like, you are absolutely attractive, even if you don't think you are. If it's not your looks, it's definitely your personality. You are just very magnetic. You have this magnetic aura to you. People can't help but fall for you, and they may even ask themselves why. It's basically that Riz pile one. You have charisma, you have that Riz. You could be a fire sign, Leo, Sagittarius, or Aries, or it could have, you know, prominent placements in those signs. And then back of the deck, we have the Hierophant reversed. And there's something to be said about your karmic lessons. So either you're definitely an old soul, or you've just gone through enough to really know better. I feel like you are either wise beyond your years, or you've gone through a lot, but still somehow don't look like you have. Because there's something about your appearance. You don't really look what you've gone through. So you could have like this very beautiful, innocent look to you, and people would be surprised to know that you've gone through some really, really shady, crappy, or awful things. Or even, it could also be vice versa. Let's say you have like this really, you may look like you're, I'm hearing expensive. You may look like you're really wealthy and rich, and people might be weirded out to find out that you actually came from, you know, the slums of somewhere, the middle of nowhere. I feel like you very much have a sort of rags to riches story. Or you could be like really, really hot now, but maybe you were very much an ugly duckling when you were younger, or maybe you were really awkward. There's something about you coming up, glowing up. It's very, this is something that people either they've noticed or they're aware of, or you make it known and they can't believe like the things that you've gone through, and they almost wonder how you make it through. So this is what they think about you. Let's go ahead and move on to some closing advice, though, or some closing messages. I'm using the Romance Oracle, which is meant to be like a channeled messages from your person, but this is just going to be channeled messages from people in general to see what they think about you, but they don't really say or wouldn't dare say to you. Okay, we have, wow, you are beautiful. I really hope people are telling you you are beautiful, pile one. But if they don't, it could just be because they don't want to come off as weird, or they don't want to embarrass themselves, or maybe they feel like you get a lot of compliments, or some of them just think that you very much know that you are attractive. We have, my intentions can be selfish at times. I feel like some people may have, like, maybe you've attracted people who have selfish intentions. Like, for example, people just want to be around you because you give off those good vibes, or because you're a really good person and they know that they could take advantage of you. And I'm really sorry if that's been the case, pile one, but I do feel people do that. Or if it's because of how you look, they may want to be around you because of that. But it wouldn't surprise me if you've attracted selfish individuals in the past. I've liked you for a really long time. So you've definitely have some people who have had crushes on you for some time now, pile one. I feel you are wife, husband material. Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. I feel like a lot of people could easily think that you are either they already think you're married or in a relationship. And if you're not, they'd be surprised to find out that you're not. Because you definitely have the qualities of a good spouse. You're very warm, open hearted, and you just, there's something about you that screams commitment or fidelity to people. I want to get back together. Some of your exes really want you back. But I feel like you don't really take them back, especially because you do set boundaries because you know you are. I feel like you know your worth. And once you know your worth, you don't go back to something that treats you like you're less. And I think you are out of my league. Yeah, just to hit that home. You're out of a lot of people's league. Back of the deck, I hope you're not with someone else. Okay. Some of you have some exes that might be checking up on you to see if you're with someone else. Another way of seeing this is if people have a crush on you, but they haven't made a move, they kind of hope you haven't moved on to someone else. It's kind of weird. So some of you definitely have crushes who kind of hope you don't have someone, but honestly, that's on them for taking their sweet time or not being forward enough with you at the right moment to step forward and, you know, say things. But I feel like for a lot of these are just admirers. Let me get one more card. And this is from the I Am So Totally Into You deck. Just a deck of quotes to describe you, what people think of you, but don't really say. In vain I have struggled, it will not do. My feelings will not be repressed. You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you. This is, I'm pretty sure it's Mr. Darcy from Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen. So a lot of you could attract the kind of people who have a hard time expressing themselves either romantically or emotionally. More so romantically, like the kind of crushes you attract are the kind that just don't want to show their heart on their sleeve, or maybe they think they're well, not too good, but you know, I just feel like some of you attract certain kinds of people who have a hard time expressing themselves. And maybe this is why you're here. Maybe you were wondering if somebody was feeling or thinking a certain way, which honestly, that might be the case. But this is where I leave it, pile one. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 2. If you chose the amethyst stone, then we have your reading here for you about what people think about you but don't really say to your face, or what they would never want to say to your face, or anything that just, you know, they're not really, what their thoughts are about you that maybe you were curious about. So let's go ahead and start with your cards. We're going to start with the oracles. This is going to give us an indication of how they see you, what they think of you. Of course, this does not have to be accurate to how you are. This is just how you are being perceived. We have number 23. I hope I pronounced this right. Melchizedek, spiritual development study, law of attraction. So some of you could be a little bit older or wiser. There's something about prestige with you, pile 2. There's something about you being like an old soul, very wise. Specifically, some of you could be very spiritual. Some of you could even be like in college, or you could just be really, really smart. I'm getting like someone who is really intelligent, or you might dress really smartly as well. Like maybe you like blazers or button-ups. You probably dress really professional, let's put it that way. With law of attraction, people do seem to think that you attract everything that you want. Like things just come effortlessly to you. So that's one thing I'm picking up. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you to see what people may think of you that they don't really say. Some of you could be older, or like I said, if it's not older, you could just, something about your age is important here, or your experience. Even though we do have the number 23, you could be 23 and look older than that, or feel older. You got 2 cards from the Mystic deck. We have antimony and phosphorus. Interesting. I will read for those in a moment. I want to get all the cards out for you, pile 2. I'm probably going to read from the books for a lot of these. Maybe some of you like reading. Maybe some of you enjoy it when I bring out the book and tell you the meaning. We have Vitaka, indulgence. Okay, so some of you literally come off rich, because with indulgence, I feel like you don't hesitate on spending extra money to look good or to dress a certain way. You could exclusively decide to wear a specific type of clothing or makeup or something. Maybe you do hair products that are, you have one particular thing that you're very bougie about, let's put it that way. And even though you might be a little cheap elsewhere, you don't really care about the quality about everything else, there is one thing you do that is really bougie. It could be your, maybe you like, you know, designer perfumes, or maybe you like really expensive shoes, but like your jeans, your shirt, you don't care about that. There's something you do that you spend a little bit more on, but that's okay because you believe in high quality things, but only a specific thing. It might be a little bit of everything as well, but I guess it's up to how you are. But with your indulgence here, people notice it. Like I said, some of you, this could be your clothing. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you. Pile 2, we have untamable, and you really, there's an energy of you that you don't care what people think about you. So even though you're here wondering what people say and think, I don't think you really care. You might just be very curious. But there's also something wild about you. Maybe some of you like to travel. Some of you are definitely very independent, or you have the kind of energy that is like, they never know what to expect from you. They have a hard time imagining you in a relationship where you're the one being told what to do, because you definitely seem to do whatever you want. There's a huge streak of independence here for you, pile 2. Which already I'm kind of loving this. For my pile 2, we've got full moon, culmination. You've lived a very full life. And regardless of your age, it's like you're an old soul. This is similar to pile 1, but in a different way, because here it's a little bit more visual. Like I'm literally seeing somebody who, this is giving like rich single auntie vibes for some of you, or rich single uncle. I don't know, like something about your lifestyle. You live life on your own terms, and you don't need anybody to complete you. And people are aware of this. So it's a little bit intimidating, but at the same time, like people kind of envy that. Like they wish they had this independence that you have. Back of the deck, we have butterfly renewal. So you haven't always been this way. I feel like for some of you, you really had to glow up, or you really had to go through some sort of, I'm hearing coming of age story. And this could be at any age, at any time in your life. You've had to renew yourself. Maybe you got out of a divorce and you had to reinvent yourself, and you did, and you're a very different person from what you used to be, maybe even a few years ago, because like I said, there's something about you living life on your own terms. Let's get more cards for my pile 2. We have the red and white rose. Yeah, it's like you blend the passionate side of you with the pure side of you. Or what's a better way of saying that? The experience and the inexperience. Because something about old souls, they never go around acting like they know everything. They go around knowing that even though they know everything, they always have a lot more to learn. I'm thinking of somebody who's very humble in how they view life. Like, yes, you've lived a full life, but there's always more to learn. So there's something rather humble about your energy, even though you come off this way. Like once people talk to you, they're like, oh wow, pile 2 has actually been through a lot. Pile 2 always has a crazy, amazing story. Like you've always got something here, but on the outside, people wouldn't suspect that. We have tapas. And back of the deck, Dharma. Some of you have really found your life calling. Or at the very least, people seem to think that. People seem to think that you found exactly what your niche is, what you're meant to do. So whatever you're currently doing, or one of the things you're currently doing, if it's not exactly everything you're doing, is something that is definitely meant to be a part of your life. Or like they feel like you're definitely good at what you do. Like it was always meant to be. So for example, let's say you're a nurse. People feel like you were meant to be a nurse. You're really good at being a nurse. It's that kind of energy. Or maybe some of you are parents and you're really, really good at being a parent. Some people here feel that you've found your life calling. We have mystery. You're very mysterious for sure. And I feel like you'll always be mysterious no matter how much people try to get to know you. And growth. Like I said, you're humble enough to know that you never stop growing, that you never really stop learning. Because it's kind of like, ooh, back of the deck, intuition. Yeah, a lot of you are very intuitive. It's like you know that life, even though you've been through a lot, there's still a lot that you haven't gone through. So there's like, when I say humble, I mean like you know that life isn't always what it seems, and that's the beauty of it. So I'm going to read from the books for Phosphorus, Morning Star, Venus, and Fire and Air. Phosphorus is elemental light. It means light bearer or bringer of light. You have the ability to retain your own light in even the darkest of places. You may have to, or maybe you did already. And this is the residual glow. I'm just going to leave it there because the rest is the background of the word. So I feel like you're really good at holding your own here. Like you're not really affected by people's energy. Like, you know, some people, especially like people who absorb a lot of people's energies, or people who are very empathic, they'll be around certain people and they can't be because they start absorbing like either their negative energy, their anxious energy, etc. I feel like even if you do feel other people's energy, pile 2, you're not affected by it. And I say this because I used to be in both camps. I used to be somebody who was very deeply affected by how people around me were. I still am sometimes, depending on how overwhelming the energy is. But once you learn how to handle and deal with that, you know how to hold your own. You can feel other people's energy, but you don't let it affect you. It's like you can read it, but you don't become it. And this is what a lot of you are good at doing. So you are good at holding your own composure. Like you're good at just doing your own thing and not being affected by other people's BS, regardless of who they are or what they're doing. This could even be like if people try to, let's say people try to insult you or belittle you or try to put you down, you know how to hold it with really good composure. Like you are not bothered. You're like, that's a you problem, not a me problem. I'm not going to react to that. That's what I'm getting. So strong Leo energy. I feel like Leos are really good at this. Libra as well. But you do not have to be those signs, of course. And then I'm going to read for antimony. Antimony. That almost sounds like Anthony. I wonder if somebody's called that. Okay. Also known as Lupus metallorum, the gray wolf or silver wolf, antimony means anti-monk. It represents the strength of raw instinct and night vision. Stay away from complex structures that could be a form of trap. Get wise to lures and lies. Wolves are a potent talisman or astral ally. Okay. There's something here about you. I mean, you could literally be a grown wolf. Sorry, a lone wolf. I don't know why I said a grown wolf. A lone wolf. But I'm also thinking of Silver Fox now that I think of this dude right here. Because, I mean, like, he's got the beard and the gray hair, but he looks really good for however old he may be. For some of you, you're just not bothered by other people. And people are aware of this. You don't go with what everybody else is saying, and you don't care how it makes you look. You do your own thing. And it both confounds, bothers, and inspires people. Bothers the ones that, you know, kind of want everybody to be just like them or want everybody to be in their camp or whatever. And it inspires people who want to be independent. So you do your own thing here. And you don't really fall for a lot of BS. That's another thing I'm getting. It's like you don't fall to people's lies. You probably know how to sniff a lie a mile away. Which, good luck to anybody who's trying to sell you or something or convince you of something, because you don't fall for that. In fact, I feel like people fear you for this because they know they can't get you to believe whatever they want you to believe. You follow your intuition, and you probably know better than most, pile 2. From the book for, how do you pronounce his name? Melchizedek or Melchizedek. He was a high priest during biblical times and is mentioned in the Old Testament and the Dead Sea, and is said to be the pre-incarnate Christ, as there are many similarities between his story and the story of Jesus. Known as an angel, the general of the heavenly armies, and the king of peace in New Age spirituality, he is seen as a high vibrational and wise spiritual leader, teacher and leader of the light. Wonderful to connect with at times when you wish to accelerate your spiritual journey. Leader of light, working on developing your own spiritual. It's funny that we have 2 cards about light here. So you definitely have an inner light. And I feel like though not everybody may catch on to this, because of course not everybody is spiritual, nor do they read energy, people really sense that and feel that about you. There's something about your you know, when you see somebody and you just know there's something different about them, that's what I get for you, pile 2. But also, it's like some people just don't bother to approach you because it's like, I'm not worthy. That's what I'm hearing for some of you. It's like some people don't feel worthy enough to approach you because there's a light around you. Maybe some of you are very divinely protected as well. Therefore, you won't catch like lower vibrational people around you, even if they tried. Very interesting energy. I love this. Let's go ahead and read for this one. For the red and white rose, we have vital force arising and awakening. In the laboratory, the merging of the red and white is an exquisite moment. It means something is coming to life before the alchemist's eyes. The pristine white of the rose is not threatened by the blood red pigment. Their mixing does not make pink. Rather, each color retains vibrantly itself, expressing its message. Uniting the body to serve the soul's purpose. Like I said, a lot of people feel that you are living your life purpose. Like you blend your life together perfectly with whatever it is that you are meant to do, which makes me curious as to what you do, pile 2, because I'm not getting that strongly. I think whatever you do, people believe you are made to do it, or you do it so well that they have a hard time believing that you would do anything else, especially if it's a career that you worked really hard for, or even if it isn't, you do your job well and people really like that. And then for tapas, from the book, it means self-discipline. You've gotten to where you are because of your discipline, tapas, and this will continue to take you where you need to go. While discipline sounds like a heavy word, it is really just committing to becoming the highest version of yourself. Yeah, a lot of you, you're really good at what you do. With self-discipline, it's kind of like I said, you know who you are, and whenever you have to work hard to do something, you know how to achieve it. You're not afraid to do the dirty work. You're not afraid to work hard. It's giving Saturn energy. A lot of this is also giving Capricorn. I can't believe I forgot about Capricorn. That's another one of those astrological signs that is really good at retaining their composure in the face of adversity or in the face of people who want to bring them down. In fact, they love that because then they like to prove those people wrong. I actually really adore this energy. So yeah, if this sounds like you, or if you feel like this is accurate to how people might see you, pile one, let's go ahead and move on to the tarot portion of this because I love this energy. People do not take you for a fool, that's for sure. In fact, I feel like a lot of people have no choice but to take you seriously. It wouldn't surprise me if some of you are CEOs or, you know, really high up in your... I'm sorry. Why do I keep hitting the camera? Or CEOs or something like that. Okay, so for the tarot, for my pile 2, what do people think of you? What wouldn't say? I want to see who these people are. Specifically, what point of view are we channeling right now for my pile 2? This is going to be who this is thinking of you. And feel free to choose multiple piles. After all, there can be all sorts of people. So we have Ace of Wands. People from your past who have rejected you or who have turned you down for something. And I'm seeing two very different energies here. Or, I mean, it could be all kinds of energies, but the two prominent ones standing out. Either like your higher ups who didn't give you a promotion or didn't choose you for a particular job or project. Like if there was a choice between you and someone else, they probably went with someone else and they turned you down, but I keep hearing big mistake from Pretty Woman. Like they didn't realize that you were so good at what you do. They didn't realize that you would actually be the best option because they compare you to who they chose. And it's like, wow, I think we messed up. I think we should have gone with pile 2 instead. And same thing with, for example, your romantic interest, former romantic interest, your exes or something. If someone decided to choose somebody else over you, even if that person was better looking, even if they were richer, even if they had a hotter body, whatever the case was, they don't compare to you. They just do not. Like you probably had a better personality. There's just something better about you. Like you were the higher quality here, pile 2. And they decided to go with something that was going to save them money, something that was going to be, I don't know, they decided to go with something else and they chose wrong. This is the people that are coming through who are thinking this, that you are actually just really good at what you do. And they kind of wish they had chosen you. Because Hephaestus is the rejected son. And some of you may feel like this, like you're the rejected son, daughter, person. Yeah, interesting. So what do they think of you that they could never tell you? Wheel of Fortune. Okay, so you either bring good luck or you are very lucky. I think more so that you bring a lot of good luck. You really are an asset to anywhere that you are, whether that's friendship, whether that's a party, whether you bring something that other people don't, and people cannot for the life of them put their word on it. And some people want to chalk it up to experience. Some people want to say, oh, it's just because you're XYZ. Truth is, there is nothing else like you. Demeter's an interesting goddess because she is the goddess of the harvest. And without the harvest, people don't live because you need food in order to live. You need plants in order to breathe. Like there's something about you, very earthy in nature as well. So you could be, I'm getting more Taurus, but you could also be a Virgo or a Capricorn. And this is the second time Capricorn has come through. So I do feel like some of you bring a lot of good luck. You bring a lot of, I'm hearing bounty. You're bountiful. You bring a lot. You do a lot as well. Like you're definitely more value for the money. Why do I keep wanting to talk to you as if people were shopping around and like you might cost a little more, but like I said, good quality. You get what you pay for. Maybe some of these people think this way as well. But that's what I'm getting. What's something that they... let's just get cards. I forgot what the questions were because it's been a few days since I continued this reading. For my pile 2, we got the Hierophant, Karmic Lessons. You've been through a lot. You've been through a lot. Not only that, but you're also a bit of a bringer of karmic lessons. Like if people ever mess up around you, I feel like you're their karma. Or you kind of, you're not exactly an I told you so kind of person, but you easily could be if you wanted to. Because I feel like there's been more than enough opportunities or times where you've kind of proven people wrong or you've proven people otherwise about something, and you probably just look at them like you want to say I told you so, but you don't. You're just looking at them like, huh, that's funny, or huh, what a coincidence, or huh, the irony. That's what I'm getting, because I mean, even look at the way look at the way this man is looking. He wants to say something, but he's like, let me say so. I want to say something, but I'm not going to. So that's what I'm getting with the Hierophant here, because even though it is tradition, and maybe some of you are very traditional, I'm not getting that as much as you being a karmic lesson, because that's how I see the Hierophant, that which we cannot escape, that we are meant to learn. And Dionysus is also, I mean, he is a god of partying, of wine, but he's actually a much more deeper god than that. Like he's a god of that which, it's like, I forget where I heard this, but he's like one of those original deities at which you gave sacrifices to, if not certain things would happen. It's kind of like, I almost want to say karma, or like, if people don't treat you well, things don't go right for them. And that's not because you said anything out on them. It's more like you do so much good for other people that if they were to be mean to you, or if they were to treat you less, it would kind of be a smack in the face of, I'm hearing a smack in the face of God, or a smack in the face of the universe, or the divine, or something here. That's what I'm getting, which is so interesting. Yeah, okay, that's really interesting. I mean, I don't know who you are, Pile 2, but there's something powerful about your energy. All right, let's get more cards. I mean, not to gas you up that much, but dang. We have the 5 of Swords. Look, if you wanted to, you could really tear people down with your words, is what I'm getting. 5 of Swords also lets me know that you let things go that you probably shouldn't. You let things slide when they shouldn't, but you're just like, you know what? I don't want to cause trouble. Let me just let this go. I feel like a lot of you, this is giving like strong Gemini energy, where if they wanted to bring you down to shreds, they could, but they don't. So you definitely are somebody. And I feel like people fear this about you. Maybe they've seen you do this. You can see right through people. You can like read them like a book. You can read them like a book so well. And if you wanted to hurt them verbally, you probably could, because you're really good at seeing what people are good at, what they're not good at, what their weaknesses are. You're actually very intelligent, but I feel like you hide that behind some sort of facade of either being very, I don't want to say very peaceful, because you're definitely intimidating, but it's like you're very benevolent, or you make it a point to be very nice. But if you wanted to, I'm getting, it's like, from the Devil Wears Prada, Miranda Priestley, you could be just that, but instead you decide to be nice, and instead you're just like, you know what, it's not worth my time. Because I feel like even though you could do this, you don't really want to. You know that it's mean. Maybe you've done it a few times and you're like, you know what, I kind of feel bad about that. You're good at seeing through people, but you bite your tongue a lot. And it's weird that people see this about you. I feel like especially people who have known you for a long time, because the Ace of Wands is letting me know that people, again, they judge you preemptively. They think you're something, and the truth is that you're not. And then we have the High Priestess reverse. Some people know that you're very intuitive, others don't. And you're very careful with who you tell about your intuition, because I think even the people who do know about your intuition fear you, because it's like, let me not get around Pile 2, because then they're going to find out about my XYZ. And maybe they're not ready to reveal that. And I get this a lot because I myself am intuitive, and some people, you know, that I know personally do know this. Some of them even watch my channel. And it's kind of like, I don't blame them if they don't want to tell me certain things, or if they don't want to be around me, knowing that I can read people how I can read them. And I feel like a lot of people are this way with you. It's like, let me not get around Pile 2, because Pile 2 is going to read me. They're going to find out. Like, you're somebody people actually fear. I'm not going to lie. There's something about fearing you, because you're just good at seeing through people, and they don't know how you do it. Back of the deck, we have the Tower. Yeah, it's like then some of them, honestly, some of them are kind of afraid you're going to catch them in the middle of something, or in the middle, like maybe some people in the past, you've like how do I say it? You've unintentionally caught people in lies or in some sort of BS or something here. Maybe you've pointed it out, and to them it's a tower moment. To you it's just like another Tuesday where you're pointing out that, hey, your shoelace is untied. People fear you, pile 2. To you it's not a big deal, but to them it's everything, because it's like, how did pile 2 know that these shoes are something? And it's more telling on them than it is on you, because the energy I'm getting from these people is that they're shaking in their boots, but you're just like, whatever, I'm just here. I just said that, this is it. To you it's nothing, to them it's everything, and they're wondering how this is, and I think it's funny. Okay, so the 6 of Cups and the Fool. Like I said, no one can take you for a fool. 6 of Cups, there's something childlike about you as well. It's like, even though you're this way, you're still a very fun and wonderful person. The Wheel of Fortune, and even Dionysus here, you're good to party with. You're like, people have a great time around you. You're probably very funny and witty as well. Again, probably because you can see through people. So if, for example, like if you're in the workplace and you deal with customers, and some customers think that they're being slick and you just catch them right away, I feel like people think it's funny that you can catch that. So this explains why some of your higher ups kind of feel like you're the better choice than other people, because again, you're really good at seeing through the things that other people can't see, or you have like such really accurate hunches about things, because again, you are very intuitive. Some people don't like that, but I think the smart people, the right people, will know how to use that ability of yours to their advantage. Not to take advantage of you, but to use that ability for everyone's advantage. That's what I'm seeing. It's like you're willing to work with people who are willing to work with you and use this skill. If it's not your intuition, it could be anything else. Your perception, your ability to, maybe some of you literally have an ability to read people, like their body language, or maybe even foreign languages here. But you're very skilled and you're really good at what you do, pile 2. So with that in mind, let's move on to some closing messages. Is there going to be channeled messages of people and what they don't really tell you? And this is coming from a romantic oracle, but it doesn't have to be romantic. This is just meant to be taken from people who know you. We've got, I've been up all night thinking about you. You have some people wondering how you know things. I have a hard time communicating. And some people, again, they get like tongue-tied around you, or maybe they just don't know how to communicate with you, or they don't know how to tell you things without giving themselves away. I am planning on messaging you soon. I feel like a lot of people do like, and they do like to talk to you. They do enjoy talking with you, but it's not often. It's like, like I'm thinking in school when people want to have lunch with their teachers, not because, they're a teacher's pet or anything, but because they are honestly curious about the kind of person their teacher is. That's what I'm getting. I don't know if that's a thing. I don't know if that was ever a thing. I mean, I think in my school, I would have lunch with the teachers in their room, but that was about it. Love will keep us together. Yeah, like I said, some people have a hard time believing that you're not already in a relationship. Did I say that in this pile? No, I think I said it in a previous pile. You drive me crazy. You drive some people crazy. This love one is throwing me off a little bit, because I wasn't really picking up on like romantic admirers here. I want more than what we have. It wouldn't surprise me if some people think that just love will keep you together with them, because the energy I am tapping in from you, pile 2, it takes more than just love for you to want to be in a relationship. It takes more than just love for you to want to settle down. You need somebody who gives you exactly what you need, and because you know that your needs are very specific. So this could be, like I said, the independence. This could be people being at your level. This could be people just being very honest with you. It takes more than love to keep you. And I'm getting such a weird energy here, because I feel like there's been people in your past who maybe you've even told them that you love them, or they've told you that they love you, and it's like, yeah, we love each other, but that's not enough for this. I need somebody who can do X, Y, and Z. That's what I'm getting for you. You're so smart that you understand that even though there's love, it's not enough to keep two people together. People have to want to work for something. People have to want to make a relationship work, a marriage work, etc. Interesting that came through. One last card. We have, you are a great friend. Oh, you're an absolute great friend. The people who are loyal to you as friends, they benefit a lot from you. because you've not only do you give great advice, but you're also very loyal and devoted when it comes to that. And back of the deck, please don't go. I feel like some people want to hold on to you even though they haven't really earned it. Or like I said, it's not, love isn't enough to keep anyone together. You'd firmly believe in that pile too, or you will at some point in the future, because you need someone who is able to show up for you in the ways that you need, and you will show up for them as well. There's something about love languages here as well. All right, so the last one is going to be a quote that people think about you. Only you can hear my soul serenade. Aretha Franklin, Soul Serenade. You're really good at getting people. You're really good at understanding them, which is both it's a double-edged sword, because like you can excuse anything, but at the same time you won't put up with anything. Like, you know how to hear people's souls, you understand them. It's part of what makes you wise, but that's not enough. It's like, yeah, you understand why they do what they did, but you're not going to put up with it, which is such an interesting energy. I feel like people do not mess with you, but it's a very admirable energy. I actually kind of love this, but this is where I leave it, pile 2. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Pile 3, if you chose the moon agate, then we have a reading here for you about what people think about you but don't really say to your face, what they would never want to say to your face, and anything else that they're thinking that, you know, maybe you're curious about. So let's start with the cards you chose. We have, for you, we have number 12, Archangel Ratziel, Mystery, Secrets, and Protected Knowledge. Look, you're really good at keeping secrets, or you're good at finding out about secrets, or you seem to know a lot. I feel like the people we're tapping in specifically are people who are like your friends. They already know you. There's something very Plutonic about this. So you could be a Scorpio. You could be just somebody who's really good at keeping secrets. You probably know a lot, but don't say a lot. And I don't feel like there's anything nefarious behind this either. So interesting right away. So let's go ahead and get more cards to see what people think about you, but don't really say. You could actually be a people who thinks a lot but doesn't really say much as well. We have indecisive and wise. Interesting, because you would think those two don't really go together, but I'll explain why in a moment they do. It's giving strong Libra, so you could be on the Libra-Scorpio cusp as well. Somehow in your indecision, you become very wise because you're open to a lot of options. You're open to a lot of different ways of thinking as well. Oh my gosh. A lot of you don't open up very easily. Maybe that's something. Also, I'm noticing that these colors are mirrored in his shirt, and these are very different decks as well. I'm not sure if you can tell, but there's like an orange and purple. So the solar plexus and the third eye are coming through here. We have success and trust. A lot of people trust you. A lot of people think you're very successful and they trust you. You also seem to bring like a polarizing effect because orange and blue are opposite colors on the color wheel. At least I'm pretty sure they are. Correct me if I am wrong. Very interesting energy so far. But a lot of people trust you. I feel like that's why you hold so many secrets, because they tell you things and they know you won't tell anyone else. We have yin-yang dynamic. Again, polarizing energy. Even though yin and yang isn't really polarizing, it's more like opposites coexisting together. You could have friends that are very opposite of you. Back of the deck, secure, not. Interesting. Very interesting energy. Because it would seem like these don't go together, but again, I'll explain why. And maybe for some of you, you hang around people that people wouldn't expect you to hang around. Or the people who are thinking this of you are people you wouldn't expect to think this of you, that you would not expect to think this of you. You make some interesting connections. Like you hang out with people that people don't expect you to hang around. We have the Wand of Hermes. Interesting. So Hermes energy, which is also Mercury, strong Gemini and or Virgo coming through here. I'll read about that in a moment. I just want to lay them all out. For my pile Pile 3. It's interesting. I said that you're a holder of secrets, and now I kind of don't want to reveal too much. We have Izanami potential. People really see your potential as a person. I feel like they really think you're going to be successful. Or something about your characteristics set you up for success. Like you're naturally made for success. Is what people think. We have Kalima. Ooh. Oh, wow. People don't know the gravity of you until they get to know you really well. And then they fear you. There's been like a common theme of, well, maybe not a common theme, but something about people misunderestimating you here. It's kind of like the more people get to know you, the more they recognize that you're actually not afraid of anything. Because Kali, I associate her with fear, but also not having fear. Back of the deck, just because it's important. This is Muladhara, which is the root chakra. So you're very grounded. You're a very grounding energy. You're a very grounding presence, especially to those who seem to lack it. They notice it the most. And then, what am I missing? The alchemy deck. The alchemy deck. For a lot of you, there's something about expansion. There's something here about people have a place for you, but you know you're not meant to fill that place. It's like the image, what I'm being shown is like people pull out a seat for you, or they make space for you, or they have a throne ready for you, even with this indecisive card. And then suddenly they recognize that you sprout wings, and it's like, actually, no, I'm not made to sit. I'm made to fly. That is so interesting. We have Sun, which makes sense here, especially with success. Orange is definitely your color, or one of them. And the color orange is it's sometimes associated with the sacral chakra, which is the chakra of, I've always considered it a chakra of focus, but also of creativity, of fertility in some cases. You could be very creative, or you could just be very, there's something almost, yeah, let's go with creative. Like you probably have a very creative mind, a very overactive mind. That said, you are a keeper of many secrets, or you could be very mysterious. With indecisive and wise, like I said, in being open to a lot of ways of thinking, it can sometimes leave you indecisive. But yet that also makes you wise, because you give the opportunity for every idea to come through, even if it's crazy, even if it's something that you typically wouldn't go with. I feel like you're very open-minded, and this is what people like about you. It's also part of the reason why they're able to trust you. And it could be quite possible that you make friends with people who are really opposite. Like maybe you have certain friends who are a certain type of way, but then you're also friends with people who are the complete opposite. It wouldn't surprise me if you're very social. With potential, I do feel like, well, some of you could be a little bit younger, but then some of you are like, it's definitely confidence, what I'm getting here with the sun, because the sun is, that's our astrological sign. That's the first sign that we are known as. This is what we present ourselves as, the ego, if you will, though not everybody sees it that way. I do want to read from the book for the Wand of Hermes. Like I said, lots of Hermes energy. So this would be Gemini and or Virgo, or you could have a prominent Mercury as well. Mercury in the first house, for example, which is what I have, or Mercury in a really strong position. So we have Wand of Hermes, stop looking. You have the magic you need. You are the spell. Every word you utter or write is vital, magically, not in a leaden or pompous way. Talk, sing, or write your way into whatever it is that you want within 38 hours. A surreal little blip of synchronicity that will affirm this message. So yeah, I'm kind of getting the magician energy from this, which makes a lot of sense. You're probably really great at manifesting as well. People think you're amazing at manifesting. And it's kind of like, but it's so interesting that we have Kali here. I feel like you have the ability, and maybe people have seen this, to kind of destroy whatever it is that you need. Not that you would ever use that. I don't think, like, you don't really go through that as much. Like, you wouldn't want to destroy anything. But it's almost like your word is final. Let me read from the book for Kali. I usually don't feel the need to, but she's coming through in such a different way here. Because it's not tyrannical, but it's also not like endings in the way that you would believe it. Also, why am I having a hard time finding Kali in the book? I usually open right up to it. Okay, so we have Goddess of Destruction, Dissolution, and Ecstasy. Draw upon Kali when you are in a time of radical rebirth. She is fierce, erratic, untamed, that part of you that you're afraid to give full control because you don't know where it will take you. Oh, that makes a lot more sense. Okay, pile 3, you're afraid of your own rage. You're afraid of your own anger, and that doesn't surprise me. Okay. She will destroy all disillusions and bring you face to face with your darkest shadows, not to cause anguish, but rather from a deep place of love. She demolishes the ego that creates the boundary between you and your highest self. She is the ecstasy experienced in an orgasm, meditation, bold self-expression, or pushing a child out of the womb. Kali comes to you in a time of deep liberation, stepping into the truer form of you. Trust the process and allow yourself to release all limitations so you can become one with the bliss that you are. So it's rare the times that you've been angry, but when people have seen you be angry, they justify it because you're probably not angry enough, honestly. And that doesn't surprise me, especially if you're typically more happy-go-lucky, especially if you're more the kind of person who just, you're everybody's friend. You are very wise and somehow indecisive. Also, there's a dynamic energy about you. With, Visuddha, throat chakra as well. It's interesting that you combine like a lot of the lower chakras with the throat chakra. So you could be very expressive. Like I said, you retain mysteries, but you're also very communicative. And I think that's rare because usually people who talk a lot will usually give away, a lot of secrets, or they'll tell everybody else's business. It's very rare that you find somebody who's very talkative but doesn't tell everybody's business. It's like you're not a busybody, but you know everyone. And I feel like that's an energy, that's some sort of ability that people really like about you. It's almost like if you could, you would release people's secrets because you know so much, but you never would. Unless it was like a matter of life or death, or even then, I don't think you would. Or if it's something that you had to testify in the courts, like I feel like you could easily be that person who just knows way more than you should, but you would never use that information for evil, is what I'm seeing. So people really trust you. Like people trust you, even though you could undo them. But I don't think you have that malicious bone in your body here, pile 3. And at the same time, like I said, you're very wise. You're very wise. You're afraid of your own anger. You're afraid of your own rage, but don't be, because we all experience that. It's part of the human experience. It's just a matter of releasing that emotion in a healthy way that matters. So yeah, very interesting energy. I kind of love this. It's like people adore you, but they understand that it's not fear. Maybe fear isn't the right word. It's like they should be wary, but they can actually trust you more than they should be wary. And I feel like the only people who have a hard time trusting you are people who are up to no good. I've always said this because it's kind of weird. There are people out there who would want to, like, let's put it this way. If there's people out there trying to tell everybody how to view you, it's probably because they know you can see through them and they kind of want to get everybody on their side. Take that if it resonates, but I've seen this. Because there's nobody you should be more wary of than somebody who tells you what to believe. Because what are they gaining from that? A true person wouldn't tell you what to believe. I don't know who needed to hear that, but maybe some of you are dealing with a situation like that. So let's go ahead and move on to the tarot. If that sounds like you, if that sounds like a perspective, opinion of people that they would have about you. So I want to see who specifically is thinking this way about you, pile 3. And of course, feel free to choose more than one pile if they were calling to you, because there are multiple sides and multiple perspectives being shown here. So we have the 9 of Wands. Like I said, people who are defending themselves from you, quote, quote, or people who want to fight you. I feel like certain people here are telling people not to believe you, or they have a hard time trusting you, so they're telling everybody else not to trust you. When the truth is, people are allowed to have their own perspectives. They're allowed to have their own experiences with situations. For example, when it comes to, I see this in families of divorce. One parent will try to tell their child what to think of the other parent, and the truth is that child should be allowed to have whatever type of relationship they have with their parent. They're allowed to have their own views about them, make up their own mind about that parent, have their own experiences. Because even though somebody was an awful spouse or partner to somebody, it doesn't mean that they're going to be an awful parent. That's what I'm seeing. And somebody here is trying to make you out. There's people out there who want to paint you in a particular way, regardless of what the situation is. So I feel like the people viewing you this way, oddly enough, are people who are either trying to make up their own mind about you, or people who are trying to convince people to view you in a certain way. So take whichever resonates. It's not all malicious. Some of it is just people being on guard about you, but then getting to know you and it's like, oh, you're nothing like how this person told me to be aware of you or something like that. Okay, so what's one thing that they would say about you? Or that they don't say, but that they think but won't say. We have the Queen of Swords. You're very intelligent. You're very smart. You could be good at chess or like board games, mind games. You're very smart, and you're also very logical. I feel like you don't let emotion get the best of you, or at the very least not when it comes to these kinds of people or certain situations. Like even if you feel a certain way, you're not going to act on it, which is very interesting. You could be an air sign. Again, Gemini's coming through, Libra and Aquarius. We have the Emperor. You're also very much in charge. Like you make a really great leader, or you would make a good leader, because people find it very easy to, sorry, I'm trying to sit weird. People find it very easy to follow your lead. You have a very natural magnetic leader quality. Even though we did have that indecisive card in the oracles, that's not a card that I would typically associate with a good leader. But in this case, it is, because, again, you're very open to new ideas. And I'm thinking a leader in terms of like the workplace, where you can't come up with all the ideas in a workspace situation. Sometimes you have to let people take the lead in certain projects, or be open to their way of thinking. And sometimes that becomes a good way of thinking that you may adopt. And, that's what I'm getting. So it's kind of like, you make a great leader. People fall in line with you very easily and some people just have that energy. It's very much like they seem to know what they're doing. Let me follow them. That's the energy you have. And they wouldn't say this, but I feel like maybe you've even witnessed this, where even people who don't typically like you or trust you, or maybe, whatever, they start doing what you do without them intending to, because you have that energy about you. Pile 3. Let's get 2 more cards. We have the Tower reversed. You're really good at avoiding a lot of BS. I feel like you've saved a lot of people from some BS as well with Poseidon here. It's kind of like you avoid a lot of hardship for people, and they like this about you. You could have saved a lot of people's, ass here about certain things, like even people you don't like. I'm seeing a very specific scenario where certain people, they didn't want to like you, or they were warned about you, but then they get to work with you, and it's like, oh, this person's actually not a bad person. Like they work well. What are people talking about? I don't know why certain people want to like talk crap about you, but I guess, I don't know, maybe it's just one particular individual with a bad experience telling a lot of people all kinds of things about you, or people who just don't like you. And then the Two of Swords reversed. Interesting. Can I get clarification on the Two of Swords reversed? Okay. Back of the deck. Hierophant. Hierophant has come out in every single pile so far. Why are you here? And then the High Priestess. Also intuition in every way, shape, or form. And the Justice. I'm taking these 3. This is telling a bit of a story. So, like I said, you've saved a lot of people from a lot of BS, from a lot of hardship. I feel like you're really good at handling situations that other people find tricky. For example, maybe people find it really difficult to do certain things, but you don't, so you're okay taking that on. It's like, I know you don't want to do this, so let me do this. It's difficult. You can go do this. That's what I'm seeing you. This has to be more workplace. For some of you, this could be something like a sport, or some sort of situation where like you meet with people and you have to work with them even though you don't really like them. Because I have a hard time imagining this as friends. Even though you do have a lot of good friends. With the Two of Swords reversed and the Nine of Swords, it's almost like I said, people have warned people about you. Like if they tell you, like if you know something, then it's gonna suck for them. But the truth is, you don't really, like, yeah, you know a lot of things, but you don't really care. With the Hierophant and the High Priestess, the one thing they both have in common is spirituality. Well, some people consider the Hierophant spirituality. Personally, I don't. I consider it karmic lessons. And it's more like the karmic lessons that we can't avoid, like going through puberty, hitting a certain age, the Saturn return. That's what I'm getting. Or even like the heartbreak of love. Everyone will get their heart broken at some point in their life, and they're going to have to learn how to deal with it. You know how to handle situations that other people might find very difficult. You do not mind, because you have the power of intuition on your side. Therefore, you take on a lot. And I think people don't give you enough credit for the kind of BS that you put up with. And I think that's where your credibility comes from. It's like if a lot of people want to say that you don't know what you're doing, or if they want to take you on, it's like, okay, come at me. I don't care. I've gone through a lot. So some of you could be a little bit older, but even if you're not, you're just really good at handling like tricky situations. Also, lots of major arcana here. Justice reversed, I feel like you fate hasn't always been the best to you, but I feel like you're okay with that because again, it's made you become the tough cookie that you are here, because you're definitely a tough cookie. The emperor does not just become an emperor overnight. No one is born an emperor. They become one through becoming the page, the knight, and then the queen or king, depending on how you see the hierarchy of these cards here. And then you have to be all four of the kings to become the emperor, essentially. So it's like you've gone through a lot. You've earned your place. And anybody who has anything to say anything about that, they can go kick rocks because they don't really know you. So I don't know who these people are who kind of want to discredit you. They don't really know who you are. They may think you're doing XYZ, and the truth is there's like a, with the Queen of Swords especially, this is strategy. The Queen of Swords strategizes. She knows exactly what moves to take and what to say. And not only that, she's very perceptive. Personally, I think the Queen of Swords is the more intuitive of all of them. And this is debatable. It's just my perspective, because she's in her mind, and when you're in your mind, you're essentially in your intuition. So you could battle your intuition with your critical thinking a little bit. I feel like there is a little bit of back and forth. That's just you personally. I'm not saying that people know this about you, but maybe they have a hard time like understanding that you do both here. So what they would never really say up to you is that they're kind of afraid of talking to you because of all the secrets that you know, and because you're kind of somebody that's not to be messed with. But at the same time, they value you. They definitely value you and the things that you've done for them. Very interesting energy. Okay, pile 3. Let's move on to some closing advice. Also, no one would ever fight you. No one would ever take you up in a fight, not because of your physical strength or lack thereof, but because you would destroy them mentally. You would destroy them verbally. Let's go ahead and get your cards, though. These are channeled messages. It's supposed to be romantic, but this could be from anybody. Things that they would never really say. We have, you found out something about me. Like I said, you're a keeper of secrets. You just know things. You know. I'm hearing that quote. Is it from Game of Thrones? I drink and I know things. I don't think that's necessarily what you do, but still, I effed up. Some people effed up with you. Big time. Some of you could be coming from pile 2, because this feels similar to some of the things that came through there. I am who I am. Wow, you are beautiful. So a lot of you are very attractive, but they would never really tell you that. With I am who I am, some people kind of want to defend themselves by saying that they can't change. And I don't think that's fair, because you understand that change is inevitable, that change happens to everybody. So who's anyone to say that they can't change? It's more like they don't want to change. My intentions can be selfish at times. Let me get more. I think you are very talented. You're definitely very talented. Like I said, creative energy is coming through strongly in this pile. I am not sure what I am feeling. Some people are indecisive about how to feel about you, but that's okay, because they're making up their mind here. Because with my intentions can be selfish, there's someone out here who's selfishly wanting to make up some narrative about you that may or may not be true. Most likely not true, honestly. Like, it might be true for them and their experience, but the truth is, I feel like you're surrounded. Honestly, pile 3, you're surrounded by some people who don't think as deeply as you, and I think you even have some sort of like benevolence for that. It's like okay, it's okay. You can feel how you want. You can think how you want. It's not gonna bother me. That's what I'm getting. Yeah, a lot of you have to come from pile 2, because this energy felt very similar. But someone is out here with selfish intentions towards people's views of you. And then we have, I need to feel in control. Some people think you have control issues. I don't know if that's true. It could also be that they wish you took more control, but control somehow, because again, that Emperor energy came through here. Like, you've worked really hard to get where you are, but some people might accuse you of having control issues. The truth is that you just know how to take control naturally. Some people have very natural leadership tendencies, and you get this a lot. It's like the whole notion behind calling girls or women bossy. Like, some women do have leadership potential, and that doesn't make them bossy, because when a man is in that same energy, they don't say anything about him. That's what I'm getting with a lot of you. So a lot of you could be women that people consider bossy, but the truth is you just naturally take charge, and that's not a good or bad thing. That's just a quality of yours. And then back of the deck, I've been trying to distract myself from my feelings. So a lot of people are very like up in the air about how to feel about you, which is weird. So like I said, you polarize people, but you also make friends with people who are very different. And I think this doesn't bother you, or at least not as much as it used to. If this has always been the case, maybe you've always had friends on the very opposite ends of the spectrum. Especially, for example, if you have friends with like opposing political views or something like that, and you're just kind of in the middle, or you're very open to either or. Take that as it resonates, but that's an example I'm being shown. Okay, the last card. I'm sorry that there's so many loud cards in the background pile 3, but I can't just keep pausing and unpausing. That gets tiring. But for your last message, this is a quote from the I Am So Totally Into You deck. Love arrives, and in its train come ecstasies, old memories of pleasure, ancient histories of pain. Yet if we are bold, love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. This is Maya Angelou, touched by an angel. Love strikes away the chains of fear from our souls. And by this, I'm thinking it more platonically, where like, yeah, you might have a history of doing certain things, or maybe people have a history with you of doing certain things. But there's something here about love conquering all, which I know that seems very woo. I know that seems very a little bit out there. But it's kind of like if people see you through the lens of love and they understand that you're nowhere near as bad as people make you out to be, or that you're really nothing to fear. Because I feel like you just try to be everyone's friend, or you are just very, like, you're more positive than they give you credit for. With old memories of pleasure and ancient histories of pain, I do feel like you've been through a lot, and maybe this has colored how you view things or how people perceive you. But it's like, whatever, this is what you are and this is who you are, and you're not really bothered by who thinks of you in any certain way. But this is where I leave it, pile 3. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 4. If you chose the rose quartz, then we have a reading here for you today about what people think about you but wouldn't really say to your face, what they wouldn't dare to say, just things that, they think but for whatever reason wouldn't want to tell you. We're going to look at what they're saying with the oracles, and then the tarot we're going to get a little bit more deeper and see who exactly is thinking, or whoever is thinking this way. But let's go ahead and start with your card. I'm getting a song for you, and I haven't really gotten a song for any pile yet. It's by Maluma, Corazon, and I'm roughly translating because it's in Spanish, but it goes, you broke my heart, but it's okay because now I can give a little bit of my heart to everyone, to every girl that I see. So for some of you, this could be the perspective of somebody whose heart you broke, or maybe they broke your heart. I guess, I don't know, maybe. There's something romantic coming through for this one. Maybe because you chose rose quartz, but let's go ahead and get your card. We have number 16, Archangel Metatron. Metatron's one of my favorites. We have spiritual power, sacred geometry, and esoteric wisdom. I almost heard spiritual reset. I don't know, that says power, but I felt like saying or heard reset. So I don't know. For some of you, you could be people's spiritual reset. And I feel like you're people's karma as well. People fear you. There's something I'm hearing enigmatic about you as well. There's something very different about you. Like, you are a force to be reckoned with, and people can't really understand or explain why. It's kind of like they get around you and just maybe weird things start happening. Maybe even supernatural things. Interesting. But let's go ahead and get the rest of your cards. I will read from the book for Metatron because I actually haven't really read through it's called The Angels Are Among Us, or Angels Among Us, it's Oracle deck. But already, strong energy for you, pile 4, not 5. We have heart. What did I say? Tú me partiste el corazón. You broke my heart. Corazón means heart, by the way. This is the love number. This is the love card, number 30. You make some people here nervous, or like you make them lose their orientation, or you make them disoriented. Maybe you do make people lose their orientation, pile 4, for my LGBTQ community out there. Take that if it resonates. But let's go ahead and get more cards for you. Yeah, if you are LGBTQ, I feel like I feel like you make people fall for you even though they typically don't go for like whatever the same gender or maybe the opposite, I guess, whichever. It's like you just have such riz, you pull people to you. Okay, we have Saraswati. You're very creative, also very expressive, also very intelligent. Saraswati is actually one of my favorite goddesses because she's both the imagination and the mind combined in one, wisdom and creativity, as well as music, which explains why there's a song coming through for you, Pile 4. I'm not surprised because, like I said, this is the only pile where I've gotten music so far. And I typically channel music. I guess I just haven't in a moment. Some of you could dress in all black as well. And people love it. Or you just really, really look good in all black. Okay, you've got 2. We have, 3, wow. Copper, fog, Chiron. You definitely have like a healer energy, or you could be a mentor or teacher of some sort, or that just comes to you naturally. With fog and copper, well, copper is Venusian energy. It's kind of like, I'll come back to copper. I know it's associated with Venus, so definitely some sort of Venusian energy, but like a primal Venusian energy. Kind of like, you know how when you fall for something and you can't really explain why, you just like it? That's what I'm getting. People find it very easy to like you on a very base level. So some of you could have like a prominent Venus, maybe Venus on the ascendant or Venus in the first house, positively aspected, not negatively aspected like mine. But I do feel like some of you, you're just easy to like. With the fog, I almost feel like you bring clarity, because even though, I mean, for some people you could bring a fog. For those people who have a hard time understanding themselves, you definitely bring some sort of confusion. But for other people, I feel like you clear up the fog, or maybe you bring, it's kind of like when they're in a fog, you bring clarity. So they may accuse you of bringing the fog. The truth is you brought the clarity with you. They just had to go through the fog first. Very interesting. But strong Venusian energy, strong love energy here. People do find you attractive, or at the very least very peaceful. Because even if you're not conventionally attractive, there's still something very likable about you. I feel like people find it easy to fall for you. Okay, for whatever reason, the alchemy tarot card doesn't want to come out. Okay, we have tin. Interesting. Lots of metals here. I wonder if you wear a lot of metals. Or, yeah, like different types of metals. Copper and tin, but these are like lower level, or like the less expensive metals, let's call it that, because it's not like gold or platinum. There's something about copper and tin. Tin is associated with Jupiter. That's why it has a similar looking glyph here. So some people consider you very lucky or very fortunate, or you may just look like you're lucky, like you have it all. We have unappreciated. People sleep on you, pile. People sleep on you, pile 4. I feel like where people see the beauty in you, a lot of people seem to easily overlook you, which explains these lower metals. I'm going to get one more. Unrecognized. What is this? Unrecognized and unappreciated. I feel like people don't notice you, but then when they do, it's like they kind of wonder how they ever could. Wow, this is so interesting. Okay, let me finish getting the cards because I'm going to read from the book for some of these, and then cleanse. So quite literally, some of you could look very clean, or there's just like a very neat appearance about you. It's almost like you cleanse you're a palate cleanser is what I'm seeing. It's like if people thought they knew what they liked before they meet you, they get to know you, and it's like, oh wow, actually pile 4 is exactly what a lot of people should be like. Because I'm seeing like an archetype almost of what people believe the average person, whatever person you are, that's what you should be, or they feel like there should be more people like you in this world. But with unappreciated and unrecognized, I feel like, again, people sleep on you. They don't understand what you are. Like, either you keep to yourself, or you're not very well known, or maybe you just go out of your way to stay like hidden. It's like I'm seeing, like, I'm trying to see you the way they see you, and it's like they caught glimpses of you, and maybe people even have gotten the privilege of getting to know you, and they don't understand how some people kind of don't get how you're so amazing. I mean, this could be one particular perspective here, but I do see people getting to know you and wondering, how is pile 4, like if, for example, if you're single, it's like, how is pile 4 single? Or if you're overlooked for a promotion or something, it's like, how is pile 4 not in a higher ranking position when they work so hard? That's what I'm getting. Whatever you do, I do feel this is more to do with looks though, and more to do with relationships because of all these love cards coming through. But also the Chiron card is the biggest one because you are a healer. You help people. You are very selfless. You encourage people to do better. You train people to do better even. I'm going to read from the book for Copper. So we have fertility, the womb, Venus. In ancient times, on an island called Cyprus, copper was mined extensively to make vessels and tools. This island is the same fertile ground of Aphrodite, the goddess associated with the planet Venus and the forces of love, pleasure, and fertility. Such is the magic of copper. This golden-hued metallic elicits delight and mystique, even as a sense of awe. Okay, I get it. So there's definitely Venusian energy to you. You even if you're a man, you come off as very Venusian, very sensual, very creative as well. There's something very pleasing to the eyes, to the senses about you, to people. People just really adore being around you. I feel like you might dress really nice, or even if you don't think you do, you might dress very pleasantly. I know that seems weird. Like you just have a natural way of knowing how to wear things that make you look good, and there's just something very appealing about you to the senses, whether it's visual, maybe you smell really well or really nice, or maybe you just dress really nice. There's something very appealing about you. You could also have a natural charm about you, but it's very understated. It's not like overwhelming, and it's not very in your face. It's definitely magnetic, but it's not in your face on how your charm comes off. It's like, you know how some people are charming, but you can tell that it's a little forced or that they try too hard? You don't have to try that hard here, pile 4. You have a natural, there's a natural magnetism, there's a natural allure about you, let's call it that. Again, you make people a little nervous, like you make certain people stutter, or with this fog here, I feel like certain people are just not ready for you whenever you show up, or something like that. Let's go ahead and get more cards for you, because I forgot the Dark Goddess deck for you. And then I'm going to read for Tin. So for my pile 4, I'm also noticing that this looks like a 4. So that could be one of your numbers. The Morrigan, righteous anger. Interesting. I feel like some of you might look really, really attractive when you're angry. I know that seems weird, but I'm one of those people. I tend to find people attractive when they're angry. I don't know why that is. Maybe that's my dominant Mars or my Venus in Aries, but there's something about you when you're angry. Some people find it fascinating, or some people just think it's really, like, the way you handle your anger is breathtaking. And if it's not visually, like maybe you don't have a really good looking angry face, but you could handle your anger in such a, I'm hearing a divine way, more like in a very appropriate way. It's almost like a work of art. Like you don't just get angry, nor do you just get even. You make sure that whatever is causing that anger gets handled. So take that how it resonates. I feel like you just know how to appropriately approach anger. And this could be part of the reason why you kind of stay hidden. It's like maybe for some of you, you even have some sort of job or career where you have to handle tricky situations that would annoy and anger other people, but not you. This is so interesting. Let me know what you do here, pile 4, because I don't know. I don't know how to take the righteous anger here. Of course, this could be the people who are viewing you. Like maybe they see you as always angry, but even in your anger, there's something very magnetic about you. Okay, I'm going to read for Tin. And interestingly, a card fell on the floor. Let me get that. Okay, we have Reflection. I don't know how it fell on the floor, but let's see. For Tin, you're about to enjoy more prosperity. Tin has a dull reputation these days, but it was once considered far more valuable and will soon yield a surprising benefit that will raise its official desirability. It is, after all, Jupiter's metal, hence the word tinny to describe people who magnetize money or attract abundance. The name comes from a Jupiter-like Etruscan sky god named Tinus. This is interesting. So like I said, you may not consider yourself very valuable where you are, or a lot of people may just consider you as like not that great, but it's kind of like there's something here about your value going up. Somehow that's tied to your anger, or to, if not anger, because they say that one way you start valuing yourself is by getting angry that you don't have what you want or that you're not being treated right. That's what I'm getting. So for some of you, your anger could actually catapult you, or it could push you to be better, or it could just like, it's just so weird. It's something about anger that is going to make you better for whatever reason. And I don't know how to describe that. Or people have seen this, like maybe whenever you get angry, things get done, and then suddenly your value goes up. I'm seeing your value go up for sure. With reflection, you reflect a lot of things back to people, either because you tell them exactly what they need to hear, or you yourself are an embodiment of what those people need to see within themselves. So very interesting energy. I'm quite curious as to who it is that is viewing you this way. I also did say I was going to read for Archangel Metatron, so let me go ahead and do that. But like I said, strong magnetic pull, and maybe spiritual reset does make sense here. Okay. Is the voice of God the angel of esoteric wisdom? He can help you activate spiritual knowledge and power through spiritual teachings, books, practices, downloads of higher wisdom, light codes, and sacred geometry. Some of you could have like a very nicely shaped face or body. Take whichever resonates. Archangel Metatron works with both the Earth Star and Soul Star chakras, anchoring your pillar of light into the earth beneath you and into source energy above so that you can live in alignment with love and wisdom. Let's see. It is time to step into your own true spiritual power. So what I am getting is that you're very grounding. You're a very grounding presence to people. It's that magnetism. So they're drawn to you not just because of your allure, but also because you provide a lot of wisdom for people. You're also very, and I kind of been getting this for a lot of the piles, like every pile so far has been a quote old soul, but for you it's more like you attract those people that need to hear what you say. You may attract them with your good looks, but you keep them with your wisdom, essentially. Or you may attract them physically initially, and then they learn a lot from you or about you. I think you change people's lives for the better as well. That's what I'm getting. It's like maybe you give people some really great advice that they would not have followed otherwise. Or they weren't expecting somebody like you who was as pleasant looking as you, who was as beautiful as you, to be able to also have a very loving and logical heart, which again, this surprises people when they find out that you're being slept on, unappreciated and unrecognized. They're kind of like, how do people not know about you? You're like a well hidden secret, the best kept secret, and I think some people actually want to keep you that way. I think some slightly more jealous or selfish people kind of want to keep you hidden and unrecognized. It's like, no, I don't want people to find out about my pile 4, because then everybody will know how great they are. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the tarot. This is such interesting energy. But also a really interesting perspective. I feel like whoever's energy we're tapping into, who is viewing you this way, is coming through very strongly. And that's actually one of my questions. So, for pile 4. So who is thinking of pile 4 this way? And then I'm going to ask why they won't say it. Well, I guess to keep you secret, that makes sense, but... King of Swords, Uranus. There's an Aquarius here, but also any air sign, so also a Libra, Gemini. I feel like maybe you interact a lot with air signs, or maybe that's what you attract the most. The fact that it's reversed, this is somebody who definitely would never say this to your face. Also, they kind of want to remain anonymous, but... Tough luck, tough luck air signs. I almost said fire sign. Maybe there is a fire sign here as well. This person, they think about you a lot because air energy is already very much in their head. This person is like super in your head. This is one particular individual. Again, it doesn't have to be. Maybe you have a lot of people who are air signs, maybe. Because I did say Aquarius. Maybe you have a slew of Aquariuses out there who think of you this way. Also Libra, I am getting Libra as well, because I feel like Libra would see the best in everybody. Libras are really good at looking at the beauty within people, or people with strong Libra placements. If they're not an air sign, they could probably have a very prominent air sign, and that probably takes over a lot of their personality. So this is who this is. I want to know why they don't want people to know this, though. This one specifically is very strong, and the other piles, the perspective of the people wasn't as strong, or it was very generic. This one, the moon, they just want to keep you secret. They don't want people to know about you. It's like, look at how, like, I'm not sure if you can see, but look how this man, he has his eyes closed. He's got his sword here. This is the King of Swords. It's reversed. And then here we have the moon, and she's just looking serene. This is Celine. But it's kind of like, this person might think a lot about you, dream about you, quite literally with the moon here, or they want to keep you their secret. This is so sweet. There's almost something romantic here. Like I said, there's something romantic here about this perspective. So this could be, maybe a lot of you have dated a lot of air signs and they all think of you this way, which, same, pile 4, same. Most of my relationships have been with Geminis, Libras, and Aquariuses, and some Tauruses. But let's see. Okay, we have the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, you are like a safe bet. You're going to go places. People also know this. They know that you're like really good. There's something here about abundance. So some of you could actually be on track to make a lot of money, or maybe you already have. You have the Six of Swords, but you're also always moving on. Like, you're never staying in one place. Page of Wands. And people may mistake you for being very childish, and maybe you are a little bit more on the youthful side. Maybe you do come off younger than you look, or maybe you just have like a childlike quality about you. You know how some people never really let go of their inner child? Maybe you're always joking, or always laughing, or always having fun. That's what I'm getting. I'm getting strong Sagittarius energy from you, for you, pile 4. A little bit of main character energy. This person really kind of puts you on that pedestal, kind of, sort of. But with Six of Swords, I don't think you stay put in one place for too long, because I'm almost getting like Eight of Wands energy here, like you're always on the go, or the Chariot. And then the Lovers. Oh my gosh, you've broken so many hearts. And I don't know if it's intentionally or unintentionally, but definitely, like, you're a heartbreaker, and people know this. Maybe people know about a lot of your former lovers, former relationships. Maybe you've spoken about them, or maybe they've seen you with people. I feel like people know that you are, some of you could be single and dedicatedly to yourself single, like you don't really want anybody. Or maybe they've seen you in and out of relationships, and you're kind of known as that person who always has, like, you know, boyfriend, girlfriend, etc. I feel like this is a perspective of people who are viewing you in a romantic way, either because they want to pursue you romantically, have already been with you romantically, or are just curious about your romantic life. And two, I feel like your relationships definitely define you in some way, but maybe right now you're not in that energy. Back of the deck, we have the King of Wands. What did I say? I said fire sign, didn't I? There's a fire sign here. For some of you, pile 4, this kind of ended up being a little bit of a love reading, not that it meant to be, but there's always that one pile that ends up like that. And in this one, whoever is viewing you this way, definitely more air quality. So they're more in their head. They're definitely more logical. They like to talk for sure. And when they don't like to talk, they like to think. So this person, I feel like, has, it's not that you don't get around much. I feel like if you have had a long list of lovers, it's probably because you're older, or, you know, just lived a longer life. But I feel like it's not intentional. There's something here about you being like a secret to somebody, or being like somebody's, like, they don't want to share you. It's almost like a, not selfish energy. Well, maybe it is selfish. It's kind of like they kind of want you for yourself. They want the exclusivity of having known that they've been with you. Whatever, it's just possessiveness. This is what is it? It's jealousy or possessiveness. And then with the King of Wands here, there's more than one person. There's another person viewing you this way. This is somebody you haven't been with yet. Oh, Four of Swords. People dream about you. What is this? Justice reverse, Three of Swords. You've broken a lot of hearts, pile 4. I don't know what to tell you. You've broken a lot of hearts. You're a little heartbreaker. But that's okay, because that means you're a baddie. And I feel like this person would never really talk about you this way, because they don't want other people to find out just how good you are, like what a catch you are, how you can go places with them. Six of Swords is also travel. Maybe you travel a lot, and maybe you used to travel a lot with certain people, or they wish that they could travel with you. Because some of you could go to some really awesome places, and this person's like, dang, I wish I could go. Like, they're seeing your socials and all the places you've been, and this person's probably like, dang, I wish I could go with pile 4 to these places. Especially if it's an ex, like they're kind of wishing they were still with you, so you could take them to wherever you're going. And then this Page of Wands reversed, like maybe some of you do have a little bit of an immaturity, like not gonna lie, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's more you tapping into your inner child and this person kind of either missing that or I don't know. But yeah, this is the point of view of former lovers, and they feel like some people are wondering if you are in a connection, if this is somebody that you don't really speak to anymore or has nothing to do with you in your life. They're wondering who you're seeing, especially if it's an ex. You know how exes, possessive exes can be. They another king popped out. How many exes do you have? Pile 4, my god. They might wonder, you know, who you're seeing, who you're with, just to size them up. That's a very fragile ego kind of thing. More so from men, I've noticed, straight men. Let's go ahead and see. These are going to be channeled messages from people. But before that, actually, no, let me go ahead and channel the messages. We've got, I'm spying on you. What did I say? This is an ex who's like checking on your socials. Maybe they're trying to figure out what's going on with you. Maybe they have friends of friends who are looking up stuff for you. Like they're wondering what's going on. I'm feeling overwhelmed. You overwhelm people with your energy. Like I said, there's like a fog that you clear up for them. I think you are out of my league. Yeah. A lot of people think you're out of their league. They are not you. You're one of a kind. Love will keep us together, but clearly it didn't keep certain people together. I feel like some people would like to think that their love for you would keep you with them. I'm getting lost in the memories. There's an ex here for sure. Maybe a little bit stalkerish, not gonna lie. I miss you. If this is like the higher self of somebody's ex coming through to let my pile 4 know that they want them back, that's not happening here, sorry. And then you drive me crazy. And then back of the deck, I am confused. So somebody here is very confused. Like I said, take that as it resonates. And they're overwhelmed. Somebody could be seeking you out in a moment of vulnerability where they don't know what they want and they kind of want you because you've kind of made life easier for them. I am getting that a little bit strongly. And then the last card is going to be a quote from the I Am So Totally Into You deck. Love is the same love is the same as like, except you feel sexier. Judith Viorst, Love and Shrimp. Yeah. For some people here, they have a hard time discerning between liking and loving you because it's all the same. I think the only difference is like how much they want to sleep with you, if that makes any sense. But this is where I leave it, pile 4. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care. Hello there, pile 5. If you chose the orange calcite, then we have a reading here for you about what people think of you but don't really say, their secret thoughts, or what they may just not have the courage to say to your face. So let's go ahead and start with the oracles to see what they may be thinking, and then we're going to go into the tarot to see more specifically who is thinking this way and why they may be saying this. So the card you got is Archangel, I think it's pronounced Raguel. Number 8, we have relationship healing and calm harmony. So you're definitely somebody who gets along with a lot of people. I feel like you prefer to be on good terms with people rather than not. This is giving strong Libra energy, and you're more likely someone to be on good terms with people. You prefer to be on like a talking basis, or you prefer to be harmonious with people. Like you don't like conflict, or you tend to avoid it. But even if you don't avoid conflict, like you still want to be on good terms with them. So let's go ahead and see the rest of your cards. Yours is one of the few piles that I pre-selected them just due to timing. So we have Hope, Rainbow. Yeah, very peaceful energy. We also have Cinnabar, which I don't actually have Cinnabar. It's actually a crystal or a mineral, but I'll read up on that one. We have Creativity. So you're definitely very creative. I feel like a lot of people adore you. We have Dharana. We got 2 of these. We have Warrior and Creative. Creative came up twice, so definitely creative energy here. Maybe some of you are artists, or you create something, or you're just good at There's something about aesthetics here too. Again, Libra energy is coming through here. We have the new pearl. Oh, this is one of my favorite cards. Mostly because I love pearls. I'll read up about that. The new pearl. There's something about you being up and coming. And then the peacock's tail. Yeah, very creative energy. I've always considered the peacock's tail to be, whenever I see a rainbow, I mean, oh, and we've got 2 rainbows here actually. Interesting. Pile 5. So I take rainbows to mean a few things. If you're part of the LGBTQIA community, this could be you, of course. And then this could also be creative energy, because I think of how you use all the colors of the rainbow to create something aesthetically pleasing. So take either or, maybe both for some of you. But there's something here about you having a very beautiful creative energy. But with warrior, I did mention that you're not afraid to bring up conflict if you need to. But I don't think it's necessarily that. It's more like you fought off a lot of things in your life. So you're not adverse to adversity, let's put it that way, but you prefer harmony because you know your peace is more valuable than not. So let me go ahead and read for some of these cards, because I can already see why you're very likable, pile 5. I have a hard time believing that people wouldn't want to say some of these things to your face, but we'll get into that in a moment. Actually, no, before I do that, I realized I forgot the Dark Goddess card for you, pile 5. So you get 1 life shuffle here. For my pile 5, what do people think of them? Oh, you got 2. You keep getting 2, so you could be very lucky because you got 2 of these and 2 of these. We have Med, leadership, and Brigid, inspiration. So you definitely inspire people. You could be a leader, or people could easily see you in a position of leadership. But regardless, I feel like you inspire people to... With creativity, you could inspire their aesthetics for sure. You definitely have a way of either dressing or creating something that inspires people. And even with warrior, it's like, I think that makes more sense for warrior. Like, it's not so much that you want to fight. It's like you know exactly when to pick up a battle and when not to, or how to diffuse a situation. So I think people really admire and adore this about you. But let me go ahead and read. I'm going to start with Archangel Raguel since he came through first. So we have Archangel Raguel's name means friend of God. He is the angel of harmony, justice, and fairness, making him the perfect angel to call on whenever you are faced with any kind of trial or hoping for a fair and just outcome. Archangel Raguel brings an energy of calmness, helping you feel safe and relaxed as you ask for trust in the best and highest outcome for all. As the angel of redemption, call on him if you need some grace and forgiveness. Archangel Raguel can also assist with clear speaking and communication. So yeah, a lot of you are definitely a friend to all, or you could easily just be very honest, be very fair, especially when it comes to tricky situations. It wouldn't surprise me if people choose you to be somebody who's like a, a middleman or like a mediator here, because you see the positive and negative of everything, regardless of who you are dealing with. You know how to be fair and honest about situations, even when it comes to people close to you. And I think people do respect this about you. So it's not like it's something that bothers them. Like even if you were to go against somebody, they would still understand why you would do this. It's like people have a hard time having anything against you. Let me go ahead and read for Dharana. So Dharana is single-focused concentration. It is time to focus your mind on one goal to undergo the transformation that comes from concentration. The birthing process of an idea takes deep commitment to usher it into life. Yeah, it's like you're very focused, which explains the creativity here. Like, you know how to focus on your goals, you know how to focus on certain things so that you're able to see your dreams come through. Yeah, see your dreams come through, hence the creative energy. Like, I feel like a lot of people lack the discipline, or maybe people that are watching you lack the discipline to do whatever it is that you do, but you don't. And people see it as something creative. So let's say you do something that isn't really creative. Let's say you create content, but the thing is, in order to create content, you have to have an idea and you have to see it through, and you have to make it, it's got to have a way of presenting itself, you know, the aesthetic, the way it's being portrayed, and even the way that it is shown. So a lot of you, you're very disciplined in seeing creative projects through. Some of you could be content creators, like I said, or you could do something more traditionally creative or artistic. But even if that's not the case, even if it's like, for example, the way you dress, some people may be very inspired by that. And some people don't see dressing up as creative, but I mean, Have you seen very fashionable people? I feel like it takes a discerning eye or a very imaginative mind to be able to dress that way. So I feel like some people may like your aesthetics, whether it's makeup, clothing, or even just the way you take pictures or the way your social media is outlined or demonstrated here, which is very interesting. Maybe some of you are just really, really good at aesthetics. For example, like you may have a social media account. I'm thinking more Instagram, of course, but it could be anything, or like a Pinterest where everything is just aesthetically pleasing. You have a color palette, everything is just like the perfect softness or hardness. Like you have a style for sure. Let me go ahead and read for cinnabar. Cinnabar is a stunning red pigment made from crushed mercury sulfide, or the only problem is the crystals are poisonous. Metaphysically, cinnabar is like vulcanized mercury genius, a red-hot genius concept that could earn unique, unprecedented prosperity. You can't be dispassionate about it. At all costs, protect your idea from faint praise, vibe vampires, and anachronistic people. Oh, ooh, okay. Anachronistic people. I don't know what acronist is. I almost said, yeah, so there's something here about you guarding your ideas. There's something secretive about you as well with the cinnabar card and even the leadership, warrior, and inspiration. It's kind of like you fiercely guard that which is close to you. So if you ever have any creative endeavors going on, whether it's, like I said, something more traditionally creative, your ideas, your projects, whatever you have going on, you tend to guard it very, very strongly. You may even be, I feel like that's the only time you have this warrior energy, this like defensive energy. You guard it very heavily because you don't want people taking your ideas. You don't want people messing with your concept, with your creativity. It's very much not letting people know about what you're doing because you don't want them to tell you. You don't want their influence to kind of distract you. And I see this a lot. I remember when I was in college, I'd be working on certain projects and then the professor would come over and ask me about it. And it's kind of like, I wonder if it would have turned out better or worse, depending on who it was that was talking to me. And I see you guarding yourself from that. Maybe some of you have some sort of trauma there where like maybe you had this amazing idea and then somebody spoke to you about it and then you took their advice and it ended up being worse. I'm kind of thinking of what's that show, Project Runway, except you know how Tim Gunn comes over and he like talks about certain things. It's like that, but a malicious energy, because Tim Gunn, he's a cinnamon roll. He's a sweet person. I don't know. I've never seen an episode where he says anything negative, but it's that kind of mentality where you're afraid of people influencing you, because especially if you do have very strong Libra energy, or if you're friends with everybody, you've either learned very quickly or you see that you can be swayed in a certain way and you don't want to be swayed in that way. And it's interesting. I don't think this is so much people, like what people think of you but won't say. It's more like what you know people think of you and you don't want to bring up, which is very interesting, pile 5. Very interesting. I do want to read for the new pearl and the peacock's tail, though. Specifically the new pearl, because I don't get this card as often. But the peacock's tail, I know for sure. This is like an opening of your vision, being able to see every dimension, every realm, every possibility, as well as all the colors of the rainbow, if you will. Hence why we're talking about creativity here. So take that as it resonates. If you're not that creative, I feel like you could insert anything else that you do. Let's say it's your career. You don't want to let people know about what your next steps are. Or let's say you're traveling, or you have, a new romantic partner. You don't like to tell people your business. And it's not that you hate anybody, and it's not that you're trying to be shady about it. It's just you want your things to be your own. It's privacy, essentially, that you want, because you don't want people influencing how you view something, you prefer to have your own experience with something rather than let somebody else color it, because you know that everything is different for everyone. Again, you have a very open mind and you're very fair about this. And I think this is why people like you and why you have so many friends. So from the book for the new pearl, grit, irritation, and waiting. The new pearl is one of the great promises of alchemy. From a single grain of sand, the pearl forms slowly but surely in the salty mouth of the oyster. The new pearl emerges as an alchemical miracle, a sight unimaginable at the outset. That said, the process is generated from irritation itself. Such is the medicine of the new pearl card. The work is underway, but the gem has not yet formed. Don't be petty and hasty, seeking a return on your efforts. Rather, turn to patience, consistency, and humility to remedy the discomfort. Let the magic of time and salt water do its work. Relax, believe, and support a fellow alchemist in finding the grit that will become their pearl. Don't worry about you right now. The entire ocean is your ally. You have a lot of support, Pile 5, and I feel like you don't really notice it, because I feel like whoever is like saying these things about you, they believe in you. Because I feel like there's two camps. There's people who view what you're doing and are just kind of meddling and being, nosy, intrusive, whatever. And then there's the other camp full of people who see your creative ideas, who see where you're trying to go, what you're trying to do, and they fully support you and want to help you get there. So I feel like for you, your biggest thing is discerning who's on your side, who's not, who has pure intentions and who doesn't. Because the new pearl, yeah, it's like if you were a grain of sand at one point, you're working on becoming a pearl. And the irritation here is like, who do you trust? What can you do? What's your best course of action, especially if you do want to be in a position of leadership or even with inspiration here. I feel like you inspire a lot of people. Oh yeah, and hope. People have a lot of they see a lot of hope for you. You're up and coming. There's the potential here for you to become something. And maybe some people don't want to tell you this because they don't want it to get to your head, or maybe they see that maybe you may not want to do that very thing. And for other people, they do see the inspiration, they do see the potential, and they don't want you to be in that position. It's kind of, yeah, it's a little bit it's two different camps. People who want to support you, love you, adore you, and people who don't want to support you and don't want to see you in a certain way for whatever their reasons may be. Which is very interesting, because not everybody in the camp that doesn't want to see you in a certain place is even negative. Like, these could be friends who don't want you to leave them, so they want you to stay where you are. Yeah, lots of lots of different energies coming through watching you here, Pile 5. So if this sounds like you, if you're curious as to, well, one, who these people are and how their energy, for this one, it's how their energies are affecting you. So I am going to ask that question because I can definitely see that certain people kind of want to keep you to themselves. It's like, no, I don't want my Pile 5 to do something different. I want them to stay here with me, or I want them to do XYZ. And that doesn't surprise me. When people find something good, they don't want to let it go. And this includes friends, this includes colleagues, this includes all of the above. So, Pile 5, let's go ahead and see who is talking about you this way. Like I said, I feel like it's multiple people here. It's different kinds of people. People that are your friends that both want to see you succeed and don't want to see you succeed, and your haters who probably don't want to see you succeed, or if they do see you succeed, I don't know. I don't want to tap into their energy right now. But let's go ahead and see who this is. We have the Two of Pentacles, Oceanius. I'm going to clarify this stuff. People see that you're changing. I'm hearing that song by Keen, everybody's changing and I don't feel the same. But here's the thing about change. Here's the thing about rebirth. It's inevitable. So whoever is thinking this, regardless of where they sit with you, they don't want you to change. They don't want you to move on from where you are, whether it's for better or worse, because they like you where you are right now. Which is very interesting. Like I said, this could be positive or negative. If it, like, for example, we see parents do this all the time. They don't want their little kids to grow up, but it's like, well, they weren't born to be little kids forever. They were born to be people. It's that kind of energy where, this could be anyone. Someone wants to keep you in your place. Someone wants to prevent your inevitable transformation. Because death reversed. I mean, death is a transformation. This isn't your demise, Pile 5. This is just your inevitable transformation. It's going to happen. And somebody here, several people here, I guess, don't really want to see you change. Why is this more specifically? Wheel of Fortune. I'm hearing fortune favors the bold. And you're bold. And they see it. It's kind of like, how when you see someone's potential and they themselves don't see it, but you see it and you're like, this person's going to be big. This person can be really, really good. And that's what they see it. Fortune favors the bold. And not only are you bold, at least you stand out enough. You're different enough that they see fortune would favor you. I think they may have already seen this. Maybe you've done something a little outstanding before and they're like, oh gosh, Pile 5's going to end up doing this, this, and that. That's what I'm seeing because, yeah, it's not so much that you're lucky. It's more like you make luck work for you. You make your circumstances work for you. Um, what can pile 5 do to combat outside influence regarding these perspectives? Because people's perspectives can be, even on a very subconscious level, sometimes they can affect us. Like if people expect us to act a certain way, we may act that way. And this could be, maybe around specific people. For example, there's certain people that I act dumb around, and I'll never understand why until I realized, oh, this person really does think that I'm stupid. So I act a little bit more silly around them and kind of affirm that to them. I'm stepping into their perspective of me or their perception of me. And it's very energetic, and I've been told this before. It's like, free yourself from people's perspectives of you, free yourself from people's views of you, because you're meant to show up as you're meant to show up, not as how they expect you to. And it's not like they're doing this on purpose. It's like when you're looking out for, let's say someone hates you and they're just looking out for like all the negative things of you, they're going to end up finding nothing but negative things about you while overlooking the more positive things about you. That's what I'm getting. So what can you do to combat these perspectives? Magician, manifest. Yeah, again, you have more control over the situation than anything. And by manifest, I mean, like I said, free yourself from their perspectives. Show up how you need to show up regardless of what they may think of you. In a nutshell, sorry, I'm trying to sit comfortably. In a nutshell, be you and don't worry about what they think, because the magician is the least out of all the out of all the major arcana characters to care about what people have to say about them, because not only do they know who they are, but they're capable of doing anything. I love the magician card for this very reason. It's the ultimate manifester. To me, it's also an energy healer card along with temperance, because it's like changing the narrative, shifting the dynamic, literally cleansing the energy of whatever is going on here. And of course, there's a reason why Hecate is here, or Hecate, however you pronounce her name, for those of you for whom that goddess resonates. I feel like for some of you, you could be literally breaking the spell of whatever people have cast over you, if that applies. So just do you. Understand that you have control over how people perceive you. Anything else my pile 5 needs to know? We have Hermit. So you're going to go through a moment where you stop being in Hermit energy. It wouldn't surprise me if right now you are, where you're just keeping to yourself. I feel like people haven't even really seen the best of you, or the most, like, they haven't seen you at your best yet. They haven't seen you at final form, if you will. Like, they have not seen all of you yet. And I feel like that's what they fear. Because you know that your potential is limitless, or at least I'm reminding you here, pile 5, your potential is limitless. Your ops see it, your haters see it, the people who want you to stay put see it. Maybe you don't see it. Maybe this reading is just confirmation that you're meant to go places that maybe even you don't believe you're meant to go. And the last one is a Chariot. Yeah. That's the only thing holding you back. I mean, yes, it's you to some extent, because we have to take accountability for how we move in the world, but also their perception of you. I feel like the only thing holding you back, let's say you do have friends who want to keep you where you are. Let's say you do have a family who doesn't want to see you move on to something else. A part of you wants to bow down to that because you adore them, you love them, you don't want to disappoint them. But the thing is you're meant to live your life however you're meant to live it, and maybe that comes off as selfish to people. I don't believe in selfishness in that way. You following your dream is not selfish. You following your dream is you following your higher purpose, your higher calling, and that which makes you happy. And I feel like that's truly our biggest goal in life. That's like everybody's destiny in life, is to be happy. And I feel like this is one of the biggest truths. Regardless of what else you have to do in life, your main one is to live a happy life in whatever makes you happy, in a positive, fulfilling way, of course. Because maybe some of us, we are drawn to let me not get into that. But basically being happy. And I feel like the only thing is people are keeping you where you are. Like, they want to keep you in Hermit energy. They want to make sure that Chariot doesn't take off. But Apollo is the god of the sun, and he's meant to shine. He's not meant to be in darkness. Same thing with Hermes. Hermes is meant to travel. To me, Hermes is the messenger god, traveling god, communication god. And the fact that they make him the hermit here, like, yes, he works alone, but it's kind of like you can't keep him secret. You can't keep him hidden. Back of the deck, we have the Ace of Cups. And some people here kind of want to prevent you. Oh, okay. So this is kind of very specific, and this is more towards, well, it doesn't have to be romantic. This could be friendships too. There's people out here wanting to prevent you from making certain new friends, new lovers, new people. Like they want to prevent you from meeting new people or from gaining, I'm hearing a new fellowship, not fellowship, but they want to prevent you from meeting new people because they know if you do that you'll change, or they fear that you'll make new friends. Yeah, for someone wants to keep you in your place. Three of Cups. I feel like this is more your friends or your friendship circle, or even your co-workers with the Three of Cups and the Three of Coins. Knight of Cups. Look, somebody out here, for some of you, there could be like certain people out here who really want to befriend you because they're really into you and they think you're awesome, but there's people keeping you from them, or vice versa. But like I said, keep manifesting the things you need to do. Understand you have more power over anything. Out of all the piles here today, you're the only one who got a major arcana card for all of your cards here. In fact, they're all except the Two of Coins here. A major arcana card, letting me know that you're very connected to source. You definitely manifest already, whether you acknowledge this or not, and you are very high vibrational. You work with spirit a lot. You're very spiritual. And overall, you're meant to do great things here, pile 5. And I feel like that's the thing people may not want to tell you, is that they're aware you're meant to do great things, and they're kind of afraid of where that may take you. Some people really support you. There's a lot of people who really do want to see you like reach the sky. They know that your potential is limitless, but there's people out there who kind of want to limit it for selfish reasons. And I don't think everyone who sees this is a bad person. They just want to retain pile 5 wherever they are because they want to keep them to themselves because they adore you. But with that said, let's go ahead and move on to your closing advice. And for closing advice, I'm doing channeled messages. It's meant to be from a romantic deck, but I'm not really taking it romantically unless I see that. So for my pile 5, and then we're going to get a... Let me start with that one, actually. Let me start with this one. This is the I Am So Totally Into You deck. It's just quotes from movies, books, poems, of how people view you. I wouldn't say to your face anyway. He loves me as is, which is a gift I wish for all of us to receive. The gift of being loved simply because of who you are, not in spite of it, not with condition, not loved in parts. This is by Patrice Concouleur. So people really do adore you, pile 5. They absolutely adore you. And I think they love you for who you are, like not just one aspect of you, but the whole thing. It's like they love your looks, they love your personality, they love what you do. There's a very strong loving energy here. And that's the thing. Again, I'm getting that the analogy of a parent loving their child and not wanting their child to grow up and leave the house. And of course that is love there, but love is also understanding that people need to go where they need to go. And I'm getting a little choked up just thinking about that. Love is also letting something grow. It's like the flower. A flower isn't just meant to be kept inside all day in a little glass case. It's meant to be outside getting fresh air and experiencing all the elements, because that's how flowers bloom. Very sweet energy in this one. Definitely sweet. Like, yeah, there's people who don't like you, but we don't care about them. Overall, this is very sweet energy. So, channeled messages. We've got... I've liked you for a really long time. Yeah, these are some of your friends, family. If you let me, I'll take care of you. Oh, this is so sweet. Yeah, people want to take care of you, pile 5. But maybe you want to take care of yourself. I feel like a lot of you have an independent streak. I'm feeling overwhelmed. This could be you. And maybe in times of feeling overwhelmed, you do go to people. Because like I said, a lot of people adore you. I'm planning on calling you soon. I am playing games on purpose. So there are certain people here with a little bit more nefarious intentions. Like they play games with you just to kind of keep you in your place. Or I feel like this would be more, for example, in a workplace situation, or people with not so great intentions. I want to get back together. Well, not the exes coming through. If not exes and friends, like former friends who want to like reach out to you and be close again, or certain energies like this. They are not you. Yeah, you're very unique here, pile 5. And let's start over. So there's definitely an energy of people coming back from the past, especially if you're watching us during Venus retrograde, because even though Venus retrograde can be about relationships or or fashion choices coming back from the past, it can also be friends. Friends that maybe you haven't caught up with in a long time, or friends that are coming back around just to speak to you. I know I've already spoken to friends from a long time in this past, I don't know how long it's been, Venus retrograde. But I forget that it's also positive things. It's not just, you know, the ex texting, it's also other people that are friends. Back of the deck we have, I can't get over you. People cannot get over you because you're so different. And maybe they've seen you glow up. Maybe they've seen you achieve new different things and they're wondering how you're doing it and they're so curious. So you're attracting a lot of people who not just want to know what you're doing, they want to see you do better. And some people might want to keep you where you are. And they may not tell you this, but maybe it's a little good to know here. But this is where I leave it, pile 5. Thank you so much for letting me read for you. If you feel like doing so, you can like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next reading. Take care.